Hello, it's Sonia here with the Pretty Stitch. Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time joining me, I'm so happy to have you here. So today is Wednesday, and that means it's the Stitch of the Week. So for today's stitch, I'm going to be using my eye hook or 5.5 millimeter hook, and I have worsted weight yarn. And today's stitch, I'm going to be calling it either, my one daughter says it looks like cherries, my other daughter thinks it looks like a little flower, like a little bud with leaves. So I'm not sure what to call it. The flower cherry stitch, maybe? I don't know. But I'll let you be the judge. So today's stitch, you'll be able to use a variety of hook sizes or yarn types. Now again, I don't suggest fuzzy or furry yarn with this stitch. And with this stitch, you are going to need to chain a multiple of 3. Now, when you're chaining this multiple of 3, to have it to be most successful, I would do it with a multiple of 3s with an odd number. So what I mean by that is anything times 3, that's an odd number. So 3 times 3 is 9, so 9 stitches. So it's going to be a multiple of 3 plus 1. So I guess that sounds a little complicated, but it really isn't. So let's think of it as a multiple of 3 times an odd number, and then you add 1. So you could do 3 times 3. I wouldn't suggest just chaining 3. That's not going to work. So it's got to be at least more than 9. Chain a multiple of 3 times an odd number, and then you add 1. So what we're going to do is I'm going to chain 10, because 3 times 3 is 9, and then you add 1, and it's 10. So hopefully in my rambling that made sense in your brain. It's not as hard as it sounds. So let me just chain 10. Alright, so I have 10 chains here. Now you could also do 3 times 5 and add 1. So 3 times 5 is 15. Add 1, 16. Actually, why don't we do that? Why don't we do, we have 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So, or you could also do 3 times 7, 21, add 1s, and you would chain 22. So you get, hopefully you get the idea. Alright, so for row 1, it's going to be very simple. We are going to just single crochet all the way across our chain. So at the end of my chain, I am going to have a total of 15 single crochet. So this is our setup row, and this pattern is going to be in multiples of 4. So this will be starting the repeat. Your first row is of your multiple of 4 is always going to be just a regular single crochet row, and in your multiple of 4, all of your odd rows will be the right side, all of your even rows will be the wrong side. So this is row 1, this is the right side. And it'll be pretty easy once we get going in the pattern, you know, to understand why the odd rows are the right side. Okay, so that is my first row, my 15 single crochet. So row 2, which is the wrong side, I'm going to chain 1, turn my work. That again is going to be just a regular single crochet row. We'll get to the fun stuff very shortly. Okay, so there's row 2, my wrong side. I've got my 15 single crochet, so now I'm going to chain 1, turn my work. So now we're going to get ready to start the fun stuff. So my first 3 stitches are going to be a single crochet. So stitch 1, we're single crochet right in that same stitch. Stitch 2, stitch 3. So now we're going to get ready to start either the cherry or the flower, whatever if you think it looks like to you. I think it looks more like a flower, but you know, there's debate in the household. Okay, so what you're going to do to start your first cherry or flower is you're going to skip your next single crochet, and we're going to work in the next stitch there. So you can insert your hook like you're working a regular single crochet and pull up a loop. So we have 2 loops on our hook. We're going to yarn over, pull through 1 loop. We still have 2 loops on our hook. So now what we're going to do is going to go right back in this single crochet. So it's going to be like we're working a padded single crochet. So if you have been watching previous Stitch of the Weeks, you'll understand this stitch. If not, I can make a link or a little eye, either it's going to be to the right or left of your screen, wherever it shows up, and a link in the description box so you can see what I mean. But what that is you're actually going to be working at the bottom of the stitch there, or the top of the previous stitch in the first row. So you're just inserting your hook right at that bottom, pulling up a loop. So now we have 3 loops on our hook. So it's like we're going to work, like we are working a double crochet, and you're going to do that. You're going to yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So now we've created, I would say, like the leaves part of the stitch. And so now we need to go and work back into the single crochet that we skipped. So you're going to work behind and just find that stitch and just work a regular single crochet. So when you're working your leaf and flower section here, it's always going to be in groups of 3. So we've worked 2 stitches. So if you look at the top there, so there's 1, there's 2. So now we have to work the 3rd stitch. So what you're going to do is you're going to go into the very next stitch. So we've worked in this guy here. We're going to go in this one, insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 1. So now we're going to go right back into where we worked for our first leaf here. So you're going to insert your hook right at the bottom of that, pull up a loop. So we have our 3 loops, and we're going to finish it off like we were working a double crochet. So now we have worked the leaves part, and that is in a sequence of 3 stitches. So you want to everything's in a sequence of 3 for your row. So your first 3 stitches are just regular stitches, and then we're working 3 across 3 stitches for our leaves here. So we have 1, 2, 3. Okay, so now we're going to go and we're going to work just 3 regular single crochet in the next 3. So 1, 2, 3. So now we're going to get ready to work the same thing what we did here, our leaf section. So you're going to skip the next single crochet, insert your hook into the next one, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 1 loop, go right back into that bottom of the single crochet, pull up a loop, and it's like we're working a double crochet to finish that guy off. So we've got that. Now we need to go and work behind. So just find that single crochet that we skipped and single crochet behind it. So now we need to work the other leaf here. So insert your hook into the next single crochet, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 1. We're going to go right back into that center of that leaf, pull up a loop, and then finish off the stitch like you were working a regular. Oh, we have a knot. Great. All right, we're finishing off this stitch. So it's going to be like you're working a double crochet. So now we have completed our second set of little leaves there. And now we have 3 stitches left. We're going to single crochet in the last 3. So that's what I mean by working in a sequence of 3 times an odd number. Because I like symmetry, I want both ends to be the same. So I have 3 single crochet here, 3 single crochet here. So if you worked an even amount. So let's say you did, 3 times 4 is 12. So you would have 12 stitches and you would be ending on just your flower. Again, I like symmetry. I have issues with that. All right. So now we're going to work an even row. So we're going to chain 1 and turn. Your first 3 stitches are going to be single crochet. So I just single crocheted right in that same stitch, single crochet in the next stitch, single crochet in the next stitch. So 3. So now we are at our flowers, or our flower section, or cherry section, whatever you want to call it. So you want to look at the tops of it, and you can see it's made up of 3 stitches. So 1, 2, 3. So in that center stitch is where you're going to work the bud or the cherry part. So the first stitch is just going to be a single crochet. And now we are actually going to be working like a bubble or bobble stitch in the center. And you're going to work into the back loop only. So you want to work in this guy here. So to do that, we're going to yarn over, insert your hook into that back loop, pull up a loop. You're going to yarn over, pull through 2. And this yarn is split, and there we go. So now we're going to yarn over again, and we're going to go right back into that stitch, pull up a loop. So we have 4 loops on our hook, yarn over, pull through 2. So now we have 3 loops. We're going to do it one more time. Yarn over, right back in that same stitch, pull up a loop. So we have 5 loops on our hook. We're going to yarn over, pull through 2. So now we have our final 4. Once you have 4 loops, you're going to yarn over, pull through all 4 of those guys to create your bud or your cherry, whatever you want to call it. All right, and now we're going to single crochet in the next stitch of our little bud or cherry group there. So now we're just going to single crochet in the next 3 stitches. So 1, 2, 3. So now we are at our little bud section here. So we're going to single crochet in the next stitch. Now we're at our bud section or cherry section. We're going to yarn over, insert our hook in that stitch. Back loop. And the reason why we're working in the back loop is that's going to help push it front, because you want it to be kind of prominent. That's why we're doing it in the back loop. So I pulled up a loop. I have 3 loops in my hook. I'm going to yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, right back in that stitch, pull up a loop. There's 4 loops, yarn over, pull through 2. Yeah, we are. There we go. 3 stitches, yarn over, right back in that stitch. So we have 5 loops, yarn over, pull through 2. And see the split there. That's okay. We're going to yarn over, pull through the final 4. And we've created our next bud or cherry. So now we're going to single crochet in the next stitch and also single crochet into my final 3. So your swatch, might be longer. So your last 3 stitches will always be just single crocheting in the last 3. And we are going to chain 1, turn our work. So now when you turn it over, you can see here is the little flower, here's our little leaves or stems, whatever you want to call it there. Alright, so now we are going to work our next set of 4 stitches. And what I like to do, so these guys stand out a little bit more, is I like to single crochet in the back loop all the way across for my next set of 4 here. So right in that same stitch, single crochet in the back loop. And we're just going to single crochet in the back loop all the way across. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. I just think it kind of looks, I don't know, just adds a little bit of extra to it. So if you look at we're at the bobble, it is a stitch, there's the top of the stitch, the V, so there's one leg of the V, the other leg, we're working in that back loop there. Alright, so that is row 5 that we worked, and this row 5 will be the start of the repeat. So now I'm going to work a wrong side row, chain 1 and turn, and we're going to single crochet across again for row 6. So row 7, we're going to chain 1 and turn. And you can, move these guys around too, because I feel like it looks a little wonky. There we go. So a little blocking can also help that out to kind of get those guys into place. So I feel like that looks a wee bit better there. Alright, so now we are going to be working the leaf section. So I've chained 1 and turned. I'm going to single crochet right in that same stitch and single crochet into the next 2 stitches. So now we're going to work the first part of the leaf there. We're going to skip the next stitch, insert our hook into the next, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 1 loop, go right back into that bottom of the stitch there, pull up a loop, and then finish it off like you're working a double crochet. And then we're going to work behind and work in that single crochet that we skipped. Okay, where is she? There she is. And we're going to then go into the next single crochet, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 1 loop, and then right back to the bottom of this leaf that we just made, pull up a loop, and then finish that guy off. And we're going to single crochet in the next 3 stitches. And work our next set of leaves here. Oops, I want to yarn over. We're not ready to do that yet. Skip the next single crochet, insert our hook into the next, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 1, then right at the bottom of that stitch, pull up a loop, and then it's just like you're working a double crochet. And then go back and single crochet behind that in the one that you skipped. And then we'll do the next one. So insert your hook in the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 1, right at the bottom of there, and then finish it off like you were working a double crochet. And then we'll just single crochet in the last 3 stitches. And now we are going to chain 1, turn our work, single crochet in the next 3. So right in that same stitch, work a single crochet in the next 2. So now we are ready to start working the tops, or the little bud there. So we'll single crochet in the next stitch. And now we're going to work the cluster stitch, or the bobble stitch or bubble in the back loop there. So yarn over, I'm going to pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, go right back in that same stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, right back in that same stitch, yarn over, pull through 2. So we've got our 4 loops, yarn over, pull through the final 4, and then we're going to go back and single crochet in the next stitch, and single crochet in the next 3. And now we're ready to get on our flower section there. So we'll single crochet in the next stitch, and we'll work our bobble or bubble, whatever you want to call it, cluster. It's kind of all those things. Yarn over, pull through all 4 of those guys, and then single crochet in the next stitch there, and single crochet in the last 3. And then your next sequence of 4 is all complete. So we're going to chain 1, turn our work. So now you can see your little buds. So what you'll want to do is you want to repeat rows 5 through 8 for however long you want your pattern or your swatch to be. And I said before, you can kind of just shift things around. That's where, you know, blocking really can help to kind of just sort out your stitches. And as I said before, you don't have to work in the back loop. I just like that. I think it just adds a little extra, but you know, it's completely up to you however you would like to do it. You could also stagger the stitches where you would have flower here, flower here, flower here, you know, however you'd want to do it. You don't have to have it in rows like that. It's just, you know, whatever you're making, however you want it to look. So I will work a few more rows so you can see it. You'll see that in the final video, but I hope you enjoyed this stitch of the week, and I thank you so much for watching.